Hi dear subscribers, most watch me without a subscription, support my channel with a subscription, and I will make you happy with new story. Story 1. I let multiple women cheat with me, and it took me almost 3 years to realize that this is wrong. Hi Reddit. I have fucked up and don't know where to go to get this off my chest. Maybe this is read by someone who can learn from my mistakes. I have been involved in cheating multiple times and am the reason for a divorce. I am truly sorry for this and realized how much of a bad person I am. It took me almost 3 years to understand that, and I know that I should have stopped this behavior much earlier. I was egocentric and pathetic. I regret that. To cut a long story short, I work as a stripper to finance my education. At least I try to convince myself that this is the main reason. If I am honest, I always liked the attention and admiration of the women. I used to be a rather shy person and had never been good with women. I was a virgin until I was 21. But things changed when I started working as a stripper with 23. Suddenly, I noticed all the women who like me. I know it's not a deep feeling, and don't only pay me to entertain them, but also try to win my attention afterwards, etc. It wasn't long after I started to do this that I got more into flirting with women afterwards and eventually to hit it off sometimes. And I have to admit that it felt great. It gave a huge boost to my ego, and soon I felt invincible. At first, I honestly didn't think about the relationship status of these women. I didn't choose to ignore, it really didn't cross my mind. However, things changed, and I once was making out with a woman who then told me that she has a boyfriend. Here's where I started to K up. I let my dick decide for me and moved on with her. We ended up having sex. From that moment on, there were more situations where I knew that I was doing something inappropriate with women who have a partner. Of course, I wasn't actively searching for that, and they always decided to cheat as well, but I know, I should have stopped as soon as I learned about the partner, and to come to an end, I am even worse than that. About 6 months ago, I was booked for a bachelorette party. After the show, I talked with some of the women there. One of them was the one who had organized the event and booked me. We did get along very well, and there was some flirting, but not much more. However, she contacted me the next day under the disguise that she wants to thank me for my show, etc. It was obvious that this wasn't the real reason, and so we kept texting back and forth for a few days. It was actually her idea to grab a coffee after some time, and I agreed. It was a nice date, and it was absolutely clear that she was interested in more. I liked her, and therefore it was almost inevitable that we met again and ended up having sex at my place. Up until that point, I had assumed that she was single. I was actually surprised when she confessed afterwards that she is married. I know that I should have been shocked at that point and should have told her that this has to end. But I didn't. I liked her and put my fun above her marriage, the implications for her and her husband, and every moral. I was egoistic. She seemed to be relieved that I didn't care, and this led to an affair where we regularly met and slept with each other. All of this only changed yesterday. She called me in tears. Her husband had found out about us and left. She was completely devastated, and all of a sudden, I realized what kind of a monster I have been in the last 3 years. Not only with her, but with all these other people as well. It really hit me like a bus, and I almost blacked out. I know that I am not the one who deserves sympathy, but I have to say that I have not slept tonight and cannot stop to hate myself for what I have been and done. I also know that there is no way of making up for this and that I deserve to feel bad. But I am absolutely sure that I will not only stop to live like that, but also actively try to help people who suffered from actions like mine and always call out people who behave like I did. Thank you for reading this, and feel free to hate me for what I did. If anyone has an idea how I could make up for my misbehaving, you are welcome to share, and I will try. Story 2. OOP and her office mate from hell. Misophonia definition from Wikipedia. Misophonia is a disorder of decreased tolerance to specific sounds or their associated stimuli that has been characterized using different language and methodologies. Reactions to trigger sounds range from anger and annoyance to activating a fight or flight response. Common triggers include oral sounds, e.g. loud breathing, chewing, swallowing, clicking sounds, e.g. keyboard tapping, finger tapping, windshield wipers, and sounds associated with movement, e.g. fidgeting. Hated sounds are often repetitive in nature. I am losing my mind. My office mate spends his entire day clicking away on a mouse, which is my most hated sound. He types insanely heavy. He just started a new habit of smacking gum all day, as well. Unless he's taking his yogurt break, where he scrapes the container for what feels like ages. I am so rage-why inside, I want to defenestrate myself right out the window. I ordered Active NC headphones to wear in the office until someone tells me I can't. Hello, I am suffering with severe misophonia. I share an office space with a coworker who literally makes 95% of my trigger noises consistently. I have been quiet about it for months now, but I really cannot handle it anymore. I am at a breaking point/quitting point, therefore, I want to go to HR and I already scheduled a meeting. I plan on asking for a reasonable accommodation of either my own office space where I can control the noise or the ability to wear over-the-ear noise-canceling headphones that will tap into our phone system, so I can still answer calls. Is this an unreasonable request? And how do I go about explaining this to my HR department and bosses? The guy I work alongside is really intolerable in terms of work relationship. We already have a very tense office relationship. Comments. Hey there. Definitely not an unreasonable request if your work environment is making it difficult to complete your work and is also affecting your mental health, then any possible solutions should be explored. Try to keep calm and matter-of-fact when describing the issue and how this affects you, maybe even take some kind of script/notes in with you to refer to. Try to avoid making the issue about the person, even if it is, and more about the impact it has on you. HR will likely pay more attention to your issue bring with your environment and mental health impact over any work relationship issues with this person. And mention the solutions that you've suggested above for things that may help you to carry on where you are, but also highlight your overall preference to be moved if it can be accommodated. Thank you kindly for this advice. I am meeting with my HR person tomorrow. She and I have a good rapport, so I am somewhat hopeful. I like your approach of making it more about my productivity. I am just so worried about a retaliatory firing because that's how my mind works. But I can't continue on in this environment. It's driving me crazy and ruining my whole life, both at work and at home, because I am so exhausted from being subjected to these sounds all day. The best solution would absolutely be my own space. Would a reasonable accommodation need a doc's note? I work in mental health, among literally 50+ LMFTs and doctors, so I am hoping they will get it, but I do have a backup letter and signature from an LMFT not associated with my workplace, if needed. Update: I fought hard to get the accommodation of being allowed to wear my noise-canceling headphones in the office. I bought a new pair that is compatible with our phone service, so I can still take calls. I don't interact with anyone, or rather, I don't have to, unless they call. I am paying for the service that allows me to connect the calls to my headset, so my company doesn't have to eat that cost either. But my office mate says I am weird for having to wear headphones and that he misses my pretty smile when he would talk to me. He makes 95% of my trigger noises, and honestly, I don't like him either. He constantly makes fun of my boyfriend and he gets mad at me over nothing, even taking it so far as to try to get me fired twice before. I just hate that I already felt weird, having miso, and now I am actively being told I am weird. At least it's Friday. I hope I don't get fired. Update: as the title says. My creepy coworker who has made multiple advances complained to my boss late Friday afternoon. My boss wrote me an email and then followed up in person and in text message that evening, saying I have to discuss how my coworker is uncomfortable that I am wearing headphones for my misophonia. This is after I got approval to wear them. I don't even know how to react and I am petrified I am going to be fired on Monday. Update 2: okay, so I am just out of the meeting with boss and our appointed HR person. 10 a.m. till 12 p.m. Phew. It was all about that my male coworker is uncomfortable because he likes a team dynamic and wants to be able to chat about non-work related things on the regular. which, sorry, means be flirtatious. He also apparently told the boss that I hadn't communicated that I would be wearing headphones and why, which is a lie. I had that talk with him twice, and once was documented on our office chat, even. Our HR entity, one person, who isn't really HR, has said they will be talking to him about how this is just the way it is now, and that I did my due diligence for this reasonable accommodation. However, I was told by my boss that I have to have another face-to-face/one-on-one conversation with this coworker tomorrow to explain that I have a disability and that I will have to wear headphones. And that if he needs to speak with me in person, because he doesn't like using chat, that I have to oblige and have a conversation. I told my boss I don't feel comfortable explaining that I have a disability and that I already felt I did my due diligence in explaining things. But, boss said that if I am looking to move into more of a leadership role, which I am, then he wants to see me do this one-on-one convo after he sets the table for it to be well received. I also explained that if we are now having meetings about feelings and being uncomfortable, then I would like my uncomfortable feelings to be on the record, too. I said this feels very personal and not professional in nature. I also said that I have many concerns about the interactions I have had with this specific coworker, and I used the word harassed. I was told to bring that up at another time, as it was not pertinent to the issue at hand, which was that my coworker feels sad and uncomfortable that he can't talk to me like before the headphones were allowed. I really have no idea what all this means, and honestly, I feel pretty indignant about the whole thing. Why are we wasting all this time on coddling his feelings? It's really not anyone's issue but his, that he feels jilted by my needing to wear headphones so he can't flirt with me all day. I am not sure what to do next, besides have that conversation my boss told me to have with him. Revelant comments from OOP. We don't have an official HR department honestly, but the lady that works as HR/mediation in our office was there, and thankfully, she is very much an advocate for me and would be for anyone in a similar situation. She said she was unhappy with how the meeting went. Hi there. Sorry for my delay. I have an update, but it is not the best, or the worst. Coworker and I are still forced to share a space. I'm allowed to use my headphones, so that helps. Coworker is intolerable to work with though, in the same room or not. I could detail all the creepy stuff he continues to do, but it's exhausting. My boss is good friends with the guy and won't genuinely hear any of it. He listens but then says I just need to be respectful that he comes from a culture of machismo and that's just how he will interact with women. My boss says to trust that the powers that be in the higher ranks of the company are working to move my station to another room. So, I wait. Having the headphones is great, but my gosh, I hate working with this guy. He's nasty. May 5th, 2019. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.